Jesse, you star in a new Angel Studios movie, Homestead, which is an intense post-apocalyptic survival drama. Spotlights America after a nuclear bomb explodes in Los Angeles, and these families, of course, struggling to survive after that. It's in theaters this week as we talk, and there's a series, a Homestead series that launches at angel.com as well. This is an awesome film, Jesse. I really enjoyed watching it. What attracted you to this project? Why did you want to get involved?
Immediately, it was the people doing it. So
Mm.
a couple of the folks that I was already sort of started to connect to, they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing. I'm going to send, we're going to kind of position it towards Angel, see if we get some traction. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So once they send me the script, that just kind of deepened my interest even further, because upon reading it, I was like, "Wow, this is really awesome. I got to be a part of this somehow." There's two characters that stuck out to me. I said, "Man, I like this role or this role." I auditioned for both, and then ultimately the one went away, which was Jeff, and then the only one left was Evan, and then that one
Mm-hmm.
even went away, to be honest, for behind the scenes, because they were like, "Man, you're fantastic for this role, but it has to be local to Utah, and we can't afford to bring you in, and we can't do any of that. So
Mm.
sorry, man. Maybe in the future, maybe on the series." And I was like, "What?" And they were devastated. I was devastated, and we just kind of, there was a week or so gap where I just didn't sleep, and I was like waking up in the middle of the night, going like, "Man, how can I make this work?" And you know, I eventually just texted the director, Ben Smallbone, and Andrea, his producing partner. I was like, "Guys, there's got to be a way. Like, is there a way?" Because I don't know. I just really feel like God's telling me I got to be a part of this thing. And I'm not trying to be the desperate actor, like, "Oh, please pick me." It was like, I genuinely feel connection. I think you guys are feeling that I would be good for this role. So ultimately, it worked out. And I'm so thankful, because to play this character and to be a part of this world. And now that I'm watching the movie and I'm just sitting there as an audience member going like, "Oh my goodness," I'm like a little kid watching this movie. I'm like, I'm totally into it. I'm gripping the chair. I'm laughing. I'm probably crying at one point. I was like, "This is intense and I love it. I'm in."
Tell me about Evan Lee, your character.
Yeah, Evan Lee is ex-Green Beret, served overseas alongside with Jeff Erickson, who would be my captain probably in the past. He's now still sort of my boss and my leader. Evan's got your back, even if he disagrees with the decisions you're making. He believes the best in people, and he'll challenge you on that best that's in you, even if you don't see it. I think that's the best explanation for Evan. He's quite collected, doesn't really lose his cool, and if he does,
Mm.
it's got to be for a really good reason.
It also stars Neil McDonough, Bailey Chase, directed by Ben Smallbone, as you said.
Uh-huh.
Jesse, I think many people used to make fun of preppers and off-gridders and homesteaders until the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think a lot of people realized that maybe society is more fragile than we really thought at the time. I'm just tossing this your way. What do you think the lessons from this film are? Is that one of them? Are there others?
Yeah, I think what I'm learning from this film, and I hope others get, is that we're not teaching fear. We're
Mm.
actually teaching you how to maybe pinpoint or recognize your fears and then find a way through it. Because a lot of people watch the trailer and go, "I'm kind of afraid of this. This feels a little too close to home. I don't know if I want to deal with that." And I think what's really great about Homestead is, A, you're going to connect with the character, a human being, a heart, a situation. And then B, as you go with that character living through this world, I believe you'll find a place and a position where you go, "Oh my goodness, there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Like, there's light. This isn't like oh, the end of the world's coming and you're all dead." It's like, wow, I actually never thought of that. And then there's people on the other end of the spectrum, which are like, "I'm totally ready for that. I got everything." But I still believe that we can reach anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home dad, or a mom, or a single, or a teenager, or you're an accountant, or a doctor, or an actor. This film literally has characters that I believe will connect with anyone.
This It's part one in a unique. It's part one in a unique package, I guess, because the rest of the story is immediately told in the Angel Homestead series on the Angel app or at angel.com. I think
Yeah.
two episodes I believe are going to launch that
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Is there anything you can tell us about that I don't know besides what I just said?
Man, well, there may or may not be a sneak peek of that at the end of the film.
Oh, okay.
And you're right. What's really cool is you go in and you watch the movie. And by the end of the movie, you're going to go, wow, I got introduced to a lot of people and I really want to see where this goes. And that's not the end. You can actually scan a QR code. And I believe if you pay it forward, which means like buy a ticket for someone else or something along that lines, that allows you access to literally go home that night, like December 20th onwards, and start watching the TV series, which so far is 2 episodes. And that's just
Mhm.
because the way the business has been unfolding. It's like, okay, how's the movie going to do? We're not sure, but we package the movie because there's a series. And if we have no series, people are going to leave and be like, what the, now what? Like you left me hanging, bro. And like we didn't want that. So I'll tell you, the movie's good. I love it. So proud of it. Proud of everybody in it. This
Mhm.
series, I've seen a few snippets, and I was like, whoa. I was actually in an interview, and someone said, "Man, this feels like Yellowstone meets The Walking Dead, except you can watch it with your family." And I was like, awesome. Like, yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that. So truth be told, all my kids have seen it. My daughter's 10, and then I have two
Mhm.
sons, aged 12 and 13. And they can sit down and watch this. It's not like so scary and gnarly that they're like having nightmares at the end of the day. And so I really appreciated that too, as a father and as a husband, that this has been a really amazing experience, because even when I film in Utah, like my family came with me. The kids are running around on the homestead with all the other kids from different cast members and crew, and it's a different way of doing things. And I'm really thankful for that, because I'm just along for the ride too. It's like, wow, I can't even believe this is happening. And so now it's real. We got a movie in the theaters, and I've seen it, and I'm like, okay, this is real. We're doing it. We're not just talking about it anymore.
Yeah, and I think it raises a lot of questions. I think people are going to enjoy addressing with their families after the credits roll.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears here real quick. You're also in two new Great American Family Christmas movies. Christmas Under the Northern Lights, which we already watched actually as a family. Anything that involves the Northern Lights, I'm watching it. And so when there's a, I'm so fascinated by the Northern Lights, and so we clicked on it and watched it right then a few weeks ago. There's a
Huh.
second one. There's a second one called A Little Women's Christmas.
Mhm.
I'm just going to ask you a general question. You can talk about those specifically if you want to.
Mhm.
What do you enjoy so much about romantic comedies? Because you've been in quite a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah. As a performer, I love jumping around. Like, I do not want to be just in one genre all the time,
Mhm.
because I think that's what's so beautiful about movies, right? Like, I remember watching Gladiator 1 and the scene where he
Mm.
lost his family. And I remember just kind of being in the moment. And then I looked around, and it's like every single person in that theater was like into it. And I was like, man, that person totally doesn't even know that person. And they don't know those people. And they don't dress the same. And they probably don't
Yeah.
drive any of the same cars. And yet we're all brought together by this like one story. And so I love the idea of being able to bring people together through story. It's kind of like the modern day campfire. It's like, gather around, people. We're going to tell you a story. Tune in. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. Just just listen and check this out. And so I love the fans of the rom coms and the Christmas films, and I love that they're lighthearted and you can just sit down and watch it. And I also love the action, because I've been a stunt performer for my whole career, and I love James Bond, and I like watching these John Wick and just getting into those movies as well. And then I also love just the kind of dramatic thrillers you can get into. And I
Mm.
just think jumping around is the coolest thing. It's super fun. Oh, you had asked about anything you know about the series that maybe you don't know now. So Jill Wagner is in Christmas Under the Northern Lights with me, good friend of mine, and managed to get her into the series so far for Homestead. So she's one of the
Oh,
characters moving forward. Also, if you've ever seen
wow.
Nashville or Outer Banks, we also have Charles Estevan, who's
Okay.
also joining our cast. So as if our power cast wasn't enough already. We have Don Oliveira from Yellowstone, right?
Hmm.
As you said, we got Bailey Chase from Longmire. We got Neil McDonough from Everything You've Ever Seen.
Yeah.
We have Olivia. We have Tyler. I mean, we have Kieran Giovanni. We have so many people that are just really talented at what they do, and
It's
I'm
it's
proud of all of them.
it's a solid cast, and I think the on-screen product reflects that. Briefly tell me how you got into acting, Jesse. I've never heard that story. How did you go from being a kid with just aspiring dreams to an actor?
Yeah, the short version. I never wanted to be an actor. Never even thought about it. Did not do theater school. Wasn't interested one iota. And I actually was in college for outdoor tourism and business. I was a whitewater raft guide professionally at the time. I was living on the river, working on the river. I was a snowboard instructor in the winter. I love the outdoors. And but I always loved movies when I was a kid. That was the one thing. And I collected the movie posters. I was a big fan of posters. I was like, yes. I'd get in line at the store. When it opened, it was like, I saw my name on the back. And then when you're done with it, I get to keep the poster, right? And they're like, yeah, Jesse, you can have the poster. So I had all this poster collection. That's the closest I got to the movie world. Never for a second did I ever think that I would be like, I'm going to be an actor. Not a chance. And then I actually had a drowning experience. I drowned when I was 21, as I was a whitewater raft guide, and I was underwater from 11 to 22 minutes. I'll keep this story very brief, but ultimately after that, I really questioned my faith, my purpose, and my life, and slowly had these little breadcrumbs start to drop in my direction that started to lead me towards film. And ultimately, I ended up moving to the West Coast. It was my first time ever on an airplane at the age of 21. And I started pursuing this crazy business that I knew nothing about. And it's been a 24 and a half year experience so far. So I'm still working on my 24 and a half year overnight success story.
I've spoken to you before about that whitewater rafting accident, and you've written about it, I believe, as well, or told it. And if folks want more detail about what you just said, where can they find information about your whitewater rafting accident?
Oh, I'm just learning that it's come out in interviews kind of naturally. And now, like, I actually have complete strangers coming up to me going, wait, are you the guy that had that near death, like, you drowned, right? And I was like, yeah, because usually it's a project I've been in or something like that. And now people are recognizing me for drowning. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, I didn't know you could like be recognized for something like that. But apparently people are Googling near death experiences or things like that. And I guess this is now, it's on the interweb, as we say.
How long was your did you were you not breathing? How long was your heart stopped?
Well, I mean, they guesstimate I was underwater from 11 to 22 minutes. So
Okay.
that's a long time.
And did you
I should
have
I should
any?
be I should be dead, like
You should be
100%.
dead. Did you have any visions during that time, or did you just kind of wake up alive?
Yeah, no, it's God definitely just was with me as I experienced the entire scenario of going from like in control, calm, I'm trained, this is what I do, to okay, let's give it another shot, to okay, now I'm in trouble, to my body taking over, and
Mm,
I'm still cognitive enough to know that I'm losing control of my nature, to I'm breathing, to I can't do anything anymore. And now,
mm,
sort of final and complete would be I heard the water, I heard my heart, the heart stopped eventually. I heard the water, then I heard
mm.
nothing. And then black. And after that, I have no idea how long or what happened or where was I. Just someone else, another group down the river found me,
Mm.
dragged me into the raft, and people beating on my chest and puking and in vehicles and off to the hospital. And just, yeah, it was like the scariest time of my life, but also had like the most peace right in there, right at the end, where it was like, I'm completely done. Like I finally, it's almost like as a human being, we hang on to stuff so greatly sometimes, and we're like, I can do it, I got it, it's in my power and my strength. And in that scenario, I was done. I had nothing left. Like, okay, Lord, I guess this is it. I'm finished. And I let it go. literally like gave into the fact that I'm dead. I'm done. I ain't coming back from this. And this is an absolute miracle that I had this, that I'm even alive, and I'm an actor, and I memorize lines, and I walk and talk. I have 3 kids. I'm married to my beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I still learn from that lesson daily, because there's a lot I learned from the river that you can apply to anything in life.
Final question for you. I was going to ask you about your faith, because you're a person of faith, Jesse. Was that incident a turning point in your faith?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a massive building block. I had faith before that, but this really pushed me to a point of going, wow, what is the purpose in my life? Why am I here? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I had the answer in the moment. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I know everything. It's been a complete life of just follow the manna, follow the breadcrumbs, and I'm still doing that to a degree. You know what I mean? But there's a structure along the way that sometimes you look back and you're like, wow, you know, when you ask me these things and I have to answer a question, I'm now thinking and reflecting, and it allows me to go, oh my goodness, that that was a wild time of life. What happened, Lord? You know, it allows me to sit and reflect and grow. So as a person, anything you've been through, like, don't discount that. You know, don't sweep it under the rug. It's actually really important what you've experienced, whether that's, you know, divorce or bankruptcy, or maybe you've had an amazing life and your parents are amazing parents. I mean, don't discount that, right? Like, really let it hit you and live that, man. Enjoy it.
Mm. Amen to that. We've been speaking to actor Jesse Hutch, who was in a new Angel Studios movie, Homestead, and a new series called Homestead. It's out in theaters this week as we talk. It's amazing. Jesse, always good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you.